So, Sean, how long have you been with the Parks Foundation?
Since July.
Oh, so you're kind of new.
I'm a baby. Yeah.
Ah, oh, great. I'm
Uh,
assuming then we are your first wackos that want to have help, and so we get to do it all together as a team, a newbie team.
well, you're not.
What? Really? Oh my goodness. Okay.
'Cause I've really hit the ground running.
Hmm.
We've I'm working on a campaign that I'm going to launch on November 11th and hopefully get it done in 3 weeks for the Renaissance Point,
Hmm.
which is on the Renaissance Trail. This
Hmm.
is a much smaller scale. It's a $170,000 total project, and most of that has already been raised, um,
Oh, wow.
primarily, if not exclusively, by Jill Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
I'm coming in just to wrap that thing up. Let's get it done. And so you guys will be seeing some stuff come out from our social media and other channels about just getting that done. I think that will add confidence to your group. I don't think it's a
Right.
negative. I think it'll say, okay, look, they're this is what they do, kind of thing. So
So what's really great about the Renaissance Trail, one, um, is that it will kind of work together with Old Evergreen because it's gonna be part of the same trail. And I
mhm.
did see some of the things
Mhm.
coming across social media with Jill and you getting this thing, rolling. I don't know if I want to say again, but
That's fair.
yeah, it's I used to live off a Renaissance Trail, so I'm
Okay.
super excited to see things rolling along with that. So
Yes.
real quick, can you tell me what they're trying to do and how they're doing it? And that might help us
Yeah.
move forward with kind of the stuff where ours is going to be a much larger project, but if we can see how the smaller project works, that would be kind of
Yeah, I think it's a great template. What we're doing there is very scalable. So it's only 180 grand total, and the trail, right by McMenamins and what used to be Beaches, which is now Lake Oswego Grill, uh, it just ended. The long story short on that is that is private property, right? And so
Oh.
when they did this multi-million dollar project, they just stopped because it's not their property. Um, Jill, inspired by the passing of her husband, they used to walk that all the time. Like, why does it just stop? And Jill was a former City of Vancouver employee. Uh, and this had to have been her because there's no way I could have figured this out. So she found out who owned it, dated all the way back to the Hidden family, got the current owners, Columbia Business Center, to work out an arrangement with us, and then also then to lease it indefinitely to the city once the project's done so that they do the maintenance. And it's important fact there is that they did it after the fact because all the work we're doing doesn't need to be Davis Bacon, all these other costs involved under a city project, right?
Hmm.
She did all that. That probably took a year, right? Just figuring out how to do this with private money before gifting it over to the city. Uh,
Wow.
yeah. Uh,
complicated.
and then when we started working with her is when the Lynch Foundation donated $100,000 towards the cause. And that's kind of similar to what we're talking about here. It's where we become the nonprofit stewards of the money. And that has been our role over the last couple, 2, 3 years. But I felt that it is now close enough that we can then interject ourselves, do a campaign under our name, my time, and get this thing wrapped up, get it fully funded and done, right? And honestly, I kind of see this in a similar manner. I'm not going to be able to spend my time raising millions of dollars for you guys, but
Mhm.
we can be the stewards. I can work in partnership. And if we find those significant chunks early, and then it becomes a very doable project for us, and then I can go back to our board and say, we needed 3 million, we have 2.5. Let's go in for the final push and get this done.
Oh,
That's
so you're saying that you could actually help fund a small portion, not the whole thing, but if we had money, you would have money to contribute in
Absolutely.
addition.
If we're sitting on $2.7 million and it's a $3 million project, yeah, I'm gonna interject and go, let's get this done.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I mean it's
wonderful.
I would say it's primarily altruistic, but it's also like it gets our name out there and it also shows people the value we can add into these things, right? But if I
Mhm.
spent my time doing this for every interested entity, I wouldn't be very productive. You
No,
know?
I bet not. There's a
So
lot of
we have to
people who
get
want a lot of things.
yeah, we have to get to that finish line where it's like, okay,
Mhm.
Sean's gonna spend 3 months on this and it's gonna get done. And I think.
Mhm. Great.
So, how does it work when we start requesting donations for, let's say, the trail, our old Evergreen Trail, Fort Vancouver, Lewis and Clark Trail, whatever we decide to call it? I don't know what the 30,000 you said is in the account already is listed under, what the
Mhm.
name is, and what portion of the trail that that donation went to. How does it work? How does the foundation benefit from being part of this?
So we charge an administrative fee, right? It's a sliding scale. Um, like so a smaller project would be a higher percentage, multi-million dollars would be a lower one. I can't give you a number right now, but that would be board approved and said, okay, we'll do this. We benefit from taking that money on the top end, right? So
Mhm.
let's say we agreed at 1% and 1 million came in, we take that 1% right off the bat, keep our
Mhm.
wheels turning, right? And
Mhm.
then uh, as we go along, that's how that would work. I would have to do some digging as in regards to the current 30 grand. I do see that 4,500 of it is for a Florence Wager memorial. And then there's 29,824 for Old Evergreen Trail. And then it says total Old Evergreen Trail is 34,323. I can find out exactly, what we're talking about there, but that's what I can see based off our books.
Okay.
And you can email me not only the amount, but who gave to the our cause in the past.
We can dig that up. Dode asked about that about 2009. I started in July, so I don't want to give you false confidence that
Sure.
I can get that, but I will certainly look into that and see, what we have. But I did mention to Dode as well. In terms of privacy concerns, I don't think that I would release the names to you guys, but I would
Okay.
certainly follow up on my end. They've donated to the Parks Foundation, so I can certainly follow up on your behalf.
Okay.
So can I get an example of how Jill um, created the dollars, or did she do any type of fundraisers or anything like that? Something that we
Mhm.
would probably look into?
So the big thing that got things moving was the Lynch Foundation. Like
Okay.
and that's true for any of these things, right? You want to find the big gift first. They call it like a silent opening. Uh, so we wouldn't have any marketing materials or anything ready to go. You guys would then go to your network of people that you know are passionate about this project and talk about it and say,
Mhm.
and I don't know if Ryan gave you a number yet, Heidi. Do we know?
Oh, yeah, he did cover some
Oh,
numbers with us at the association meeting.
Right, he
So
did.
that will be um, listed in the video that we put together
Okay,
involving this video. So yeah, I can't recall off the top of my head
no worries.
specific
Just send that.
numbers. Yeah.
Well, let's say it's 3 million. I know
Yeah.
you, right? Let's just say it's $3 million. Like we need $1 million from somebody before this is really serious. Somebody or something, right? Could be a grant as well. And I can poke around at different opportunities that we could look into. If it's a grant, that grant's going to come from us or the 501(c)(3) nonprofit that would be applying for that grant. but I would write that in tandem with you guys. Like there's some information that you know that I don't know, right? Like on the you guys would be my on the grounds folks that like that's 54th Avenue and this is 32nd Avenue and whatever. Uh,
Mhm.
but I'm pretty well versed in writing those. But I would certainly have you review them, and your input would be welcome, if not, well, required. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Um, and then once we got that million, then we start talking about like a feasibility study and what it would take in terms of fundraising efforts to get the other portion. Feasibility studies usually around 30 to 50 grand. It would probably be a good use of our existing funds, to be honest with you. Once we got that 1 million, then we would want to do that feasibility study, and that would then outline our plan. Um, and then from there, we execute on that. And as we get closer, like I mentioned before, and then we do a full-on public campaign. Like uh, one of the interview questions they asked me when I was hired is, have you ever had a campaign that failed that you didn't achieve? And I smiled because the answer was no. And that's kind of the way you do these things in the order that I'm describing, right? Everybody wants to be on a winning team, right? They don't want to donate to something and then, well, it didn't happen and we got to send refund checks, right? Like, um, and so you want to be very confident, or as much as you can be, right?
Right.
And
Mhm.
before you then go full scale public, like this is what's going on. Let's send a press release to the Colombian. We're going to host this event. Those type of things. You want to get up there, and the feasibility study will tell you that, right?
Okay.
It'll say like, if we got the million and we need 2 million more, and if you can find that other million within 6 months, you're ready to go, right? And if it
Right.
takes you 12 months, then you got to find this. There's professionals that know that algorithms and they'll present it to us.
Hmm.
Okay.
Can you send me an example of like a feasibility study? I've um never seen one. So
We
I would
did,
love to see what that looks like.
yeah, and just to give you some context, Marlies, in my previous employment, I was the executive director of Columbia Premier Soccer Club, and they're
Oh.
located over at Harmony Sports Complex. And over the 10 years that I've worked there, we invested $10 million into the park, two of which required a feasibility study where we raised
Hmm.
$3 million to put in two turf fields. And so I've worked with those in the past and they've been helpful. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I can send you some stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
Good idea. So, my other question is, because we're actually essentially talking between two different neighborhood associations. Um, what if we had dollars that was coming in from one specific neighborhood association versus the other? Would there be a way to keep that kind of in an A and B account, or what would that look like? As you know, most of the west side of the trail is going to be finished or soon to be finished. Dode and I are looking at trying to finish just a small portion that will connect all of it after next summer, according to what Ryan's plans are. But then we have to start looking at the east side of the old Evergreen Trail. So then that's where Marlise is coming in too. So we need to um, figure out a way that those dollars stay within that organization and our dollars stay within our organization. Is that something that we can do?
Yeah, I mean, that's simple from an accounting perspective.
Okay. Okay.
I would, I would really like to sit down with you guys and Ryan and really know the nuts and bolts of the finances. That gets a little gray for me in terms of the fundraising piece. Like
Mhm.
we got to be really clear and transparent on what people are donating to.
Exactly.
And so, I'd really have to understand that clearly, like how we're actually structuring that. But that's not something, that's not a hurdle not easily overcome. That would be my only hesitation. From accounting, it would just say Evergreen Trail, this association, Evergreen Trail, this association. I mean, that part's easy.
Okay.
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 And the same question with Heidi, the TIN number that we would use, because to look up foundations and to communicate to different people who have foundational money, they're requiring me to have a TIN number in order to just even walk through the gate, to even know what the details are for the grant.
Mhm.
So uh, do we get our own TIN number, or will it be the Parks Foundation TIN number? And then, like, do we have a subset number, or how does that work?
It would just be ours. It just
Okay.
be ours. We use the same TIN number for every project we work on. Um, and
Okay.
and then in terms of what you're kind of referring to is making sure that we're explicitly um, dividing those funds to where they're appropriately earmarked to different
Mhm.
projects. And that's all done in our accounting. I'm looking at our books right now, like that's done here, right? All of the money goes to our tax ID number, and then we have to show that this money was received and it is in this appropriate account.
And do we have our own like account number? Like,
Yeah, you would have your own account
okay.
number. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know, I would send updates, anytime there was, especially early on, right? Let's say we're exploratory. You guys are out, foot soldiers, like, hey, we got to find this big donation. If somebody cuts us a check for 50 grand, I'm like, hey, guess what? Like this came in, like you're gonna know right away.
Mhm.
The only hesitation I had there was, once we get into the full-on campaign, hopefully we're getting a bunch of those every day, and then it would be, and then would, much smaller amounts, obviously, but then we'd decide on every 2 weeks or whatever, like here's where we're at and update you that way.
So the reason I'm asking is we need a website or some kind of QR code that people could it'd be an easy place for them to put the money. So we have to have a system where if they use the QR code or whatever, it goes to our account. Like every
Mhm.
time they donate goes to our account. Um, so you can help me with that, with an account number, and it would go into this bank account or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Renaissance Point's a great example for that. There's
Mhm.
Jill set up her own website, rpvancouver.com. And then when you click on to donate, it goes to Parks for Clark's donation page.
Yes, we are on the same page here.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
And
sounds
then
good.
that QR code that they push and they get their bank account and they send the money, that goes into our particular account.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Hmm.
Makes it easy to donate. It's wonderful.
That's what
Yes.
you want to do. Yeah.
Hmm.
Least amount of clicks as possible.
Hmm.
Well,
Um,
go ahead, Marlies.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say that Dode and I have met with Sean, and if there's any other questions you want to add or talk to, I'm sure we'll be meeting again after we start talking about a website, QR code, and all that. So um, I'm not sure if he's answered all the questions that you might have for the Columbia River Neighborhood Association.
So we need to show to you that we have at least $1 million, and then then you start getting engaged on a more regular basis. That's how I understand this. You to be telling me
Yeah.
today in this meeting. Okay.
Yeah. So I have to
Mhm.
sell my time to my board,
Yeah.
right?
No,
I
it's fine.
I can't just, hey, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna do this. Like, they're gonna
Right.
say, okay, A, what is the purpose, right? Does this fit our mission? Is this what we're supposed to
Hmm.
be doing? And B, how feasible is it, right?
Hmm.
And if I go to them and say, hey, there's this $3 million project, and Marlise is awesome, and Heidi's awesome, and Dode's awesome, they're gonna say,
Hmm.
where's Where's the money?
Where's the money?
Yeah,
You know,
that's super.
great, Sean. I'm glad you have good
Okay.
friends, but there's a reality to it. And so that's where before I would even broach that question, if I
Mhm.
came in and said, "Hey, Heidi's awesome, Marlisa's awesome, Dode's awesome, and they have a donor for $1 million," that's a much better
Mhm.
proposition from my
Yeah.
standpoint.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I just need to know what the number is that we need to reach for. So, okay, so $1 million is what we need to put together. And then you can help us with writing before the $1 million. Can you help us with, let's say I find this foundation and they have an application and I can fill out the basic things. I can fill out essentially the foundation. Can I have it sent to you before the $1 million to have you review it and say, oh no, that's not what they mean. They mean this. Oh, okay. Can you do that?
Yeah, I'm happy to. And what I
Okay.
would recommend is that you just send me the link first. I wouldn't want you putting in any work and for me to come back and go, yeah, that was great, but waste your time.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, send
That
me the
that would
link
be super.
first. Um, and then the other piece I would really, you said I just threw that out there. Like I don't know that $3
Yeah.
million is the number. So we'd really need to sit down with Ryan and I would really have to have confidence, right? So like you're dealing with people's money that is earmarked. So it's extremely important that
Hmm.
I know the exact numbers we're talking about so that I'm not taking somebody's money for a different purpose, right?
Right.
And so that's really important to me. So for example, Renaissance Point, we need 168K. We have 129,000 in the bank. I just got a $10,000 check. I need $28,000 for it, right? Like I know exactly what we're doing going into this campaign. And I would need to be in the same spot with you guys before we put our name
Hmm.
said this is what we're doing.
But you would be willing to help advise beforehand. That's really helpful. And then the TIN number, can you email that to me? Because a lot of the times you can't even get in the door of finding out what the deal is for the foundations without the number.
I'll give it to
I've
you now.
BNSF is one of the people we want to target, and they have this whole gate system that's really disappointing.
Do you have a pen on you?
Yes, sir.
All right. 91
Mhm.
dash 1986747.
Ah,
There you go.
out of the foundation money that we do have, which I'm so excited we have money, it's like amazing. It's like a gift. Is there money that is not earmarked? How much of it is not earmarked for something? Because, like, I'm sure Heidi's got some plans, like a video, maybe, and maybe you're going to do a website. I'm not sure, but I know we're going to need a couple $100 to get a website rolling and to get the QR codes rolling, to get to explain, what we're doing.
Mhm.
Um, is any money in that to for that kind of purpose?
Yeah, it's not earmarked to that detail.
Oh,
So
okay.
all I'd have to do is, take your email to our board and say, hey, these folks are asking
Mhm.
for submission of, let's say it's $3,000 for a website and blah, 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 blah. I get it approved by the board, just so you guys know how this works, right?
Mhm.
So then it goes into our meeting minutes. It was approved, right? And then
Okay.
we can send the check for whatever. So,
Uh-huh. And that's about like a month delay. So you have to be ahead of the time, about a month and ahead of time if you need
mhm.
money. Okay.
Yep.
Hmm. Okay. And then that gets sent to us as like a check to Dode, which would be great. Um,
I
how does it get sent out?
I think we'd prefer to pay the invoice directly.
Mm. Oh, okay. Hmm.
That's cleaner. It doesn't
Hmm.
Yeah,
it
of
is
course.
making money off the foundation.
Yeah, well, that's great. Okay, that makes sense. And we can just email you with questions and things that come up. These are the three foundations we're looking at looking at, here are there, or maybe two, as,
Yeah, I'm very much email guy.
okay,
I'm terrible at checking my voicemail, so if you call and I don't answer, send me an email or call again.
okay,
But yeah, email is great.
okay. And your email, I'm assuming, is listed in this invite, right?
Yeah,
Or what is your email?
Yeah.
it's Sean, Sean,
Hmm.
at parksforclark.org.
Is it for a number or FOR?
FOR.
Okay. Parksforclarks.org, did you say?
Yep.
Mhm. Okay, great. I think that's my main questions so far.
And
So,
I'm so glad Marlise was here with us.
And very good questions, really.
Yeah, very good questions.
well, I'm very excited about this project, and it is going to happen. We've wanted it in our neighborhood. It's a safety issue, and I am so excited that we're going to do so much good for our neighborhood. And you're going to be a part of it, Sean. It's going to be very exciting.
Yes.
I
We're
love
going
my
to be
new
very
job.
proud.
I love my new job. Like I just make people happy. It's awesome.
Well, today you've made me very happy. So thank you so much for the TIN and then the access to your email. I promise I will not wallpaper your email.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
All right,
yeah,
well,
you've
if there's
given us
any,
some
go ahead,
great
Kate.
ideas that I can't help but think that, Marlise and Heidi and I need to talk about some sort of kickoff fundraiser that might, activate the community,
Mhm.
something we can consider.
That's all
Yeah.
the fun stuff, but I do want to reiterate before we go here, we need to make sure that we get the nuts and bolts done first.
Mhm.
How much is it exactly going to cost? Is the city going to pay? How much are they going to pay? What is the timeline, once we get the funds, right? When are they expecting, those type of things, they're not as fun, but they're really the basis for everything else that we do.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should
that's
be
very
able to get
true.
a fair bit of that from Ryan. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which will be our next. And when we meet with Ryan, we will invite you as well
Please,
to join the meeting.
please. I
Yes.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
That's
Sean,
very
thank you.
good.
I have no more questions, and I
Okay.
really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Good to
Yep.
see you, Heidi.
Excellent.
Doug,
Yeah.
good to hear from you.
And I've just been listening and absorbing it. So this is very, very good. Very exciting.